Hey guys, I was just setting up things over here at my end. This is our week. So we've been learning how to create websites, how to code. We've been learning HTML for the content, CSS for the styles, some JavaScript for the functions. So in this week, we shall be creating a full function website. And today, let me show you a homepage that I have created. So you guys watching me code over here 5 hours, 6 hours is boring, right? So I have already created that page. So I'm going just to explain the functions of the code, like how it is working, and then I'm starting by showing you this end product over here. So let me screen record my laptop real quick. So this is the home page. Okay, this is the home page over here. So we have the, you can enter your company name over here. We have the home page, about, contact. This is the navigation, right? This is our navigation. Then we have this content, we have the images. Like for example, you want to show people your business, so this is where you will enter your image and explain a bit about your image. So for example, this is a shop, so you enter over here, this is my new shop, then explain a bit about your shop. Then you can have another thing over here, and you can copy paste this as many times as possible to create a complex web page. So about us, so this is the footer, the black division over here is the footer, and so this is a short description about the company. This is the quick links, the privacy policy, the terms of services, where people can sign up. So when people click this link, they can get to sign up. But now if I click this link, it's just loading there because we have not yet created all these other pages, the about, the contact, the blog, portfolio, and the others. So contact us, this is where you will enter your email and your phone number that is the simple web page that I have created. So let's go on to run the code, the HTML and the CSS. Hey guys, we are now on the editor, and let me screen record my laptop again. So we are recording our laptop over here, or rather my laptop over here. So let me show you, this is VS Code, and we have our folder over here. So this is our folder, I'm calling it my website. So we have the header image, we have the homepage.html, we have the logo, we have the photo. So you save all your files, we have this CSS. So you save all your files in the same folder, right? So let's look at our homepage. So we start with the doc type. Okay, so we go to our title, it's a homepage. So link, this is the link to the style sheet, and you can see this is our CSS file, and it is this over here. So let's not get to CSS yet. So we have this division over here. So we open our header. So this is a body tag. Sorry, I'm skipping. We get to the header. So we have our div ID content item here. So we have our company name. So you will enter your company name. Like for example, my company is called Me. My company is called Me. So I can enter that, and in my website now my company name will change this, but since I want it to remain like that, so let's move to the ID, the navigation. So these are the buttons, and I'm using an ordered list for the links. So A, href, home, about, we have all the buttons over there, or rather the navigation. So let's go to the main tag. We have the section, class content, and then we have the division, content item. So remember we have the CSS. Okay, so when we are doing CSS, we shall get to learn more about how to use the class, the ID. Like for example, over here I used the ID navigation, over here I'm using the class, and over here I just used the element itself, the header. So we shall get to learn more about that and how we can, all the differences. So this is a section. So content item, my first content item is the image, the first image, and then we have this description over here. So this is a heading, JavaScript keywords, for example, and then JavaScript statements. This is now the this is now the text or the paragraph, right? So we have this also other one. This is now the second image and the second heading over here, JavaScript statements, and the text on JavaScript statements. So let's move on to our footer. So then we close this division over here. This is the second content item. We had closed the first content item, so then we close that section, then we close the main. Okay, remember we have the opening tags and the closing tags. So let's now go to the footer. So the footer, remember we have inline CSS, we have internal CSS, and we have external CSS. So for the whole web page, I have used the external CSS where I am linking an external CSS over here in this line. But now, since my footer had some little issues, so I had to do some inline CSS. Inline CSS is basically used in the section, not in the section, but inside the element. So you open the section, then you enter a space over here and style, then you enter all your styles here as usual. So let's go to the first division in the footer. It is about us, a short description about the company. So you have the quick links over here, so the privacy policy. So in the href over here, if you have created your privacy policy page, you shall enter it over here. Like for example, let's assume I have created a HTML web page, which content is the privacy policy, and I call it our privacy. Our privacy. Remember, it is a HTML file, so it is .html. So that's how we do the hyperlinks, the a tag over here, and I am using the unordered list, so it will have some bullets when it is displaying. So we have these footer links, also the contact page over here, and then we have the email, we have the a tag. So whenever you click that email, that will show on the web page, that is my email, this is what will show. So whenever you click that, it will take that person to the Gmail or to the Microsoft mail. So, and then this is the number. So that's the number, and then we close that section. Then we have some line breaks over here to give a little space from these footer links to our copyright. So we have 2024 copyright, all rights reserved, the company name. So that is basically our HTML file. So we close the body, the HTML. So now let's move on to the CSS. So this is the CSS. As you know, it's the styling sheet. And guys, remember I said we have the element selector, we have the we have the ID selector, and we have the class selector, right? So this is an element selector because it has no symbol it has no symbol before that. And let me show you an example. Back to our HTML. So we have this body. You know, this is just a tag, right? It's an element, a tag. So whenever we are styling an element, we use the element selectors. So element selectors, we use just the body. So if we are styling the body tag, we shall use the body on its own. And then we have these square brackets. Then we enter our selectors and our declaration over here. All these, like font family, all of those. We have the padding, box sizing, okay? And then we have this one with a hashtag on top of, before the text. Before this selector, we have this with an hashtag. So this is an ID selector. And let me show you something. You remember this tag over here? Do you remember this tag over here? Div ID content item. So look at this text. This is content item. So this is what we are styling here, basically. Content item. But now, because I have this selector over here, this is an ID selector. So I will have this selector over here start with a hashtag. Okay, start with an hashtag. Then we have another one over here. Let me scroll a bit down with this dot. This dot is basically for the class, as you can see here. That's why I like VS Code, because it is actually explaining for you. So if you don't understand any of the content that I'm just about to give you, or any of these tags, any of these CSS, you can get from the VS Code. Select like this and it will tell you it is an ID selector over here. Look at here. So that's an ID selector. So we have this is our header. So remember, our header is an element, and then we have the navigation. So for the navigation, I'm using an ID selector, ID nav. That's why I'm using the hashtag. So all these are selectors, like for example the background color, as you have seen earlier in the web page. So we have the link. So we have this display now. Remember, I'm using this unordered list, and this is the listings. So unordered list technically have bullets, but right now in our web page you did not see any bullets. So that's why I'm using the display inline. So it will display the content side by side without the bullets. So we have this A over here. So we have text decoration none. Remember, most of the links in HTML web page are underlined. So that's why I'm using none over here, text decoration none. And then we have here the hover. So the hover is basically the changing color. So every time you touch on that button, it will change the color. Like for example, okay, the background of my navigation is this color over here. It's a green color, right? But the hover is white. So we have this color over here, this color. So color is basically the text color, and then the background color we have is the background of that button. So let's go to the main. So we have the padding. Padding is actually the distance from the wall. So let me do a comment over here. So I have that slash, a star, and then another slash. In between these stars, I do this is a space from the walls. Space from the walls. Remember, we can do that. These are called comments. So every time you are sending someone probably the coding, he can understand that, or the function of some selectors. So we have this dot content, and then we have the content items, and then we have the footer. So justify content center. That's why most of my footer content is at the center. So we have the footer links. This is the color of the text. So you can see some comments over here. The green text is comment, and then we have the footer. The footer hover. So you can see a hover. A hover is basically the link, the hyperlinks. So the hover will be blue. And then we have this copyright. Remember, now in our HTML page, in our HTML code, I had this div class copyright. Okay, so my selector here is copyright, and then it is a class selector. That's why over here I am using dot copyright. And that's all for our homepage. So I'm going to paste this code. I'm going to provide you with this code so that you can copy paste it, learn it. Let's meet tomorrow in our another video lesson. So let's meet tomorrow in our other session. We shall be doing the about page. So this is basically what we are doing. So about, so tomorrow we shall do about, then contact, then a blog page, a portfolio. We can do a shop, and then the sign up and the login page. Thank you.